What am I going to do?
Where are my kids?
When do I get to see my child? Why?
How did this happen?
What's going on?
Parents already have enough questions on their minds. Do they really need to worry about these as well?
Who are all these people in the courtroom?
What is a case plan?
DCF.
Guardian ad litem?
Disposition?
Judicial review.
Dependency Court?
Dependency court?
Dependency court?
Dependency court? What goes on in this place?
What happens in Dependency Court?
Anytime there is a concern that a child has been or is in immediate danger of being abused, abandoned, or neglected, it is heard in Dependency Court. This kind of court is all about making sure that the children are safe and protected and helping families with the problems that brought them into court in the first place. Dependency Court is not about punishing parents or handling criminal charges. This video was made for you, a parent who is in the beginning stage of your case, to help you understand what happens in Dependency Court.
The first time I was in court, I was overwhelmed. You hear all these different people talking about you and your children. Who are all these people in the courtroom?
In dependency hearings, there are a few different groups of people that will be present during your court hearings. First, the Department of Children and Families, or DCF, has a protective investigator, an attorney, and a case manager in attendance. The DCF's protective investigator is usually the person who removed the child from the home. The DCF attorney is there to represent the state's duty of protecting children from abuse, neglect, and abandonment. The case manager is actually from a community-based care agency that works closely with DCF. The case manager is assigned to work with your family and help you and your child get services. The goals of DCF are to protect children and keep families together through the use of services. You will also notice people from the Guardian ad litem program. A Guardian ad litem, or GAL for short, is someone who represents the best interests of the children and makes sure children have a voice in court. Guardians ad litem are separate from the DCF and the court. That way they can provide the judge with their own information and recommendations. A GAL may visit with your kids, talk with you about your situation, and get other information from family members, teachers, or doctors, or other people who know you and your kids. A GAL will also make sure your children are getting everything they need while the case is ongoing. The GAL attorney, case coordinator, and volunteer may all be present in court. The judge's job is to listen to all the people, learn the facts of the case, and be fair and impartial. Ultimately, it's the judge who will decide if and when your children are returned to your care. Last but not least, the parents' attorneys are in the court to represent the interests and desires of the parents.
I wasn't sure I needed a lawyer. Even if I wanted one, I wasn't sure how I would pay for it.
You have the right to have a lawyer advise and represent you in all stages in a dependency case. If you can't afford to hire a lawyer, then the court will appoint one to help you. You will need to complete some paperwork on how much you earn and what kinds of property you own to see if you qualify to have a lawyer provided at no cost to you. If you don't want a lawyer for some reason, you have the right to represent yourself and to speak directly to the judge when you're in court. Remember, the DCF will have their lawyer in court for all hearings, so you should consider that when deciding if you want a lawyer to help you with your case.
It was extra hard on me because I had to go to child support hearings and divorce hearings, in addition to dependency court.
It's very important for the court to know if you're involved in any other court cases with any other judges. Make sure to let the judge or your attorney know this so that your hearings can be coordinated to make it less of a hassle for you. Another point to remember is this. If in addition to dependency court, you're involved in criminal court, You need to understand that your dependency attorney cannot assist you in your criminal proceedings. Many criminal hearings have the same names as dependency hearings, like arraignment or disposition. But remember, these are completely different hearings with different charges, attorneys, judges, standards, and outcomes.
I wanted to know when I could visit my children.
The judge may allow supervised or unsupervised visitation, depending on whether or not there are safety concerns. The judge will discuss the terms of visitation with you and see what works best for you, the caretakers, and the workers involved in the case.
I had no idea what my first hearing was or what I was supposed to do.
If your child has been taken from your home, then a shelter hearing will be held within 24 hours of when your child was taken into protective care. At the shelter hearing, the judge will look at the initial evidence and decide if your child should come home with you or stay with a relative or foster parent while you go through your case.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to bring anything to court with me.
When you go to court, it's a good idea to bring with you phone numbers and addresses of relatives who may be able to care for your child. If you have a relative your child could stay with, instead of having to stay in foster care, DCF will need to complete a home study for that relative. In a home study, DCF goes to the house to make sure that it'll be a safe place for your child to stay.
I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Dependency court looks different depending on where in Florida you are. Your next hearing could be the arraignment hearing. Between now and then, DCF will file a petition that outlines the allegations for your case. At the arraignment hearing, you will most likely enter a plea. You will admit, deny, or consent to the allegations that were listed on the petition. Some arraignments involve much more than simply entering a plea. Your attorney can explain to you all that you need to know.
I want to know when I can tell my side of the story.
Different courtrooms throughout Florida operate in different ways. Depending on your area, mediation, case plan conferences, or trials may be used. It is possible that instead of any of these options, you will decide to enter a consent and begin work on your case plan to get your children back. Your attorney or the judge can explain to you more how these issues are handled in your area and help you make sense of it all.
Luckily, I knew what a case plan was and what I was supposed to do.
Typically, a disposition hearing is held next, where the judge will review the specific recommendations for your case, including a plan of action called a case plan, which will include tasks you will need to follow. Case plan tasks are custom designed for you and your family to help you be the best parent you can be. Examples of case plan tasks include attending a parenting class, getting a psychological evaluation, going to counseling or therapy sessions, and maintaining good housing and a job. Your case plan will have a permanency goal. Some examples of this are reunification with your child, adoption, or placement with someone else.
What would have happened if I didn't do my case plan?
Parents that ignore their case plans, don't show up to court, or just show no interest in their case can lose their parental rights. If DCF determines after repeated efforts that they cannot safely return children to their homes, then DCF can petition for those parents' parental rights to be terminated. If this happens, parents lose all rights to their children.
As my case went on, I didn't have to go to court as much. I had to focus on getting everything done with my case plan.
As your case progresses, you will attend hearings every few months called judicial reviews, where the court reviews the progress on your case plan. At the judicial review hearings, the judge will read reports by DCF and the GAL program on how well you are doing the tasks of your case plan, as well as how your child is doing in his or her current placement. The goal of dependency court is to place children in permanent, stable, and safe homes. This is called permanency. The law requires permanency for the child to occur within 1 year, but if you work hard on your case plan, it can happen even sooner. The preferred permanency goal is reunifying you with your child. The main purpose of judicial reviews is to see how close you are at achieving your permanency goal. Sometimes a person called a magistrate hears your judicial review instead of a judge. Think of the magistrate as someone who sends the judge a report card on your progress.
Dependency court can be a complex and confusing place. There are a lot of new terms to get used to. If you don't understand something, be sure to ask questions.
I remember waiting in the courtroom for hours, only to stand in front of the judge for a few minutes for my hearing. I know it's frustrating.
It wasn't easy, but I worked with my case manager, I took care of my case plan, and I got my kid back.
What is my advice to parents watching this video?
My advice to parents watching this video is
Advice?
My advice to you is
get a lawyer. That helped me out a lot.
Get to court on time and speak up in there.
The most important thing is,
And the most important thing is,
The most important thing,
And the most important thing to remember is do your case plan.
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 Do your case plan.